Me, I am a memoir. I said a memoir. We're going deep. We're going down too deep into the regular verse. Oh yeah, the regular verse. Regular.
Hello, Emily. This is us tired. We are back to finish ourselves off. Finish someone off.
With a fan.
With a fan. I'm sure Jen's going to bring some fans out at some point.
We're going to fully mug this one.
Yeah. She's gone full mug. Never go half mug. So, no blogs other than the big juicy blogs that occur throughout.
Yes.
The remainder of
So many
This
blogs.
Is Me and Something. Love story. ... Divorce. Should we? Should we get
Yeah.
the lowdown on the down low?
Getting the lowdown on the down low. I would recap what happened in the first half of the movie from last week. But I don't really understand it. So let's just barrel on through.
Well, because you tried to write it down, but then you don't even understand your own nose.
No.
Because how could you?
Yeah. I'm just going to, like I did last week, just say out loud what happens in it. And that's funny enough.
Yeah, literally.
That show, she's back there.
Yes.
She's cuddling a puppy.
Of course.
Where did the puppy come from?
Nobody knows. It's called Snoop.
That's the dog.
The real dog, yeah, sorry. Because what happened, like, on
know.
Amazon or whatever it is.
When you pause, it
comes
tells you
up,
who everyone
and I was like,
is.
oh, is it going to talk? And it's going to be Snoop Dogg.
No.
And then it didn't talk, and I got very confused.
Yeah, no, the dog's called Snoop. She says she believes in magic and does a whole spiel with tears welling up and orchestral music swelling. And then Fat Joe's timer goes off and he ends the session, and I actually laughed.
There's funny moments. Like, there are funny moments.
Because it was like, I was like, oh, this is so fucking cliche. It's hurting me. It's like, man. I'm like, oh, great.
Yeah.
You've cut through the bullshit.
Yeah.
But then I wanted there to be a follow-up laugh, and there wasn't, which is annoying. His wife calls and bitches at him for talking to J-Lo again. And he gives Jen a recommendation to Love Addicts Anonymous that he just scribbles on a bit of paper.
Yeah.
I want a bit of paper. Scribble down, I hate you. She goes home and watches The Way We Were on the world's biggest television. I thought my TV was big, but this is outrageous.
This is Jen big.
It's Jen giant. She loves Barbara. She mimes along to the dialogue.
She's very good.
Like she's doing the world's most expensive TikTok.
Yeah. I also have the theory that she probably asked Babs to be a part of the council, and Barbara said, just send her the movie. Send her a tape.
You can have the video.
Yeah, you can put that
just
in there.
AI me into it if you can manage that. In the Sky, where I'm becoming increasingly attracted to Post Malone, Keke Palmer does a spell that somehow involves her doing an impression of Maya Angelou.
Oh, no.
I don't know why this happened.
She's very camp.
I love Kiki, but that is a lot, that moment.
Yeah.
While Sofia Vergara plays with her breasts distractedly. Jen attends Love Addicts Anonymous, which is in a tiny circle inside a giant gymnasium.
It's so random.
Which says to me this is going to involve a dance number.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Jen explains that she's never been able to sleep. And then she has a flashback to her sister being able to sleep really easily. And she was awake all night because she had a restless heart.
Yeah.
She had a broken heart because of her motorcycle accident. Her friends say, slow down, but she keeps getting married. Her therapist fired her.
I can't help it. I have to keep getting married.
Her therapist fired her. She's taken her dog to group therapy. What a fucking needy bitch.
This whole moment, the whole Love Addicts Anonymous thing, I said, part of me appreciates it as like an absurdist, this is so obviously exaggerated kind of thing. but I'm not sure it's meant to be.
Yeah.
I can't tell if we're meant to take it seriously or if she's like, this is silly, isn't it? You know, it's true in the middle.
She delivers it all quite intensely.
Yeah, which can work with an absurd
Yes.
kind of thing. So I can't tell if it's meant to be over the top and camp or we're meant to be really concerned about her at this point.
Don't know.
I did relate to her not sleeping easily thing because I could never get to sleep and all my friends would be asleep at a sleepover like that.
I'm like that on a plane.
Yeah.
Like I sleep when everyone's getting fed and stuff, and then I wake up in the middle of the night. I'm like, now I'm hungry.
Now I can't do anything. But I'm also just concerned that she said she had a reckless heart. I think she might have just had a bit of anxiety.
Yeah, maybe.
I think maybe a bit of that.
Maybe she had too much chili.
Yeah. Yes.
Maybe it's just heartburn.
Yeah. Maybe
Like
she
the
actually
heart was on fire.
Maybe she was eating rose petals and that was the problem.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because she thought if you eat rose petals, the hummingbird will come in.
Yeah.
I don't.
Exactly.
I don't know why the hummingbird's coming in it, but anyway.
Why not?
So she thought everyone else was broken, and she flashes back to breaking the glass apartment building. Breaking. Okay, I get it. Then she sings Broken Like Me, and the rest of the group do reaction dancing.
It's a lot.
Yeah. The dog runs away because he's sensible. Her dog is called Fluffy, named after her overused vagina. This whole scene and the dancing is tragically misjudged.
Yeah.
Like, also, why have they done Foley on the dancing so you can hear their shoes and chairs squeak?
It's...
Like, the dancing is really great and it's evocative, but it does not go with this song.
It does not. My whole issue throughout the film is the dancing works in other spots.
Yeah.
And this particular one, her spotlight, dark background, singing this song, you know, the verse and a chorus, could have been really sweet.
Yeah. And if there was going to be dancing, like, silhouette in the background. No squeaking chairs.
Yeah.
No weird Glee setup or whatever's going on.
Glee.
Like, I would have been happy to see Matthew Morrison at this point. And I've never said that out loud.
I want Sarah Jessica Parker singing Let's Have a Kiki.
Yeah, Let's Have a Kiki. Amazing. After the song that is problematic and awful and just, it's because we liked this song, remember?
Yeah.
And they've ruined it.
Yeah.
Like, they've made it...
Doesn't make any sense.
It's not good. Yeah. Anyway, the group leader tells her what she shared was powerful, the singing and dancing, I guess, and asks if she's going to come back. And I'm presuming that the rehearsal for another session is a bit too much because she's like, I don't know.
I know. I noticed that. There's no answer. This is Stella trying to fire Molly. I don't know.
No. It was a lot. I didn't expect everyone to dance to my song.
Yeah.
Like, I thought you would just sit still while I sang
it. Yeah.
But obviously, none of you trusted me to be able to manage the vocals, so you all started dancing.
This is the one song I did sing well. So,
yeah. Thanks for that. Thanks for the support, guys, in the group therapy.
Yeah. I don't know what it's like to be around a lot of people in a school because I ran away from home at 18.
At 18, yeah. I ran away. Like, completely. Then she's at home and it's raining and she's soaking wet in a ball gown. Has she been in the pool in a gown? Because that seems unoriginal.
I mean, I haven't seen a bathroom as in the ocean.
No.
So maybe we're okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we're safe.
She's throwing shit in the fire because she doesn't give a shit about carbon emissions.
Do you know what's playing in the background of this scene?
I do. Sky News Ben is shouting on the TV again. There's a snippet of the original Dear Ben from This Is Me then playing. Like, don't trigger me with that shit.
Look, it was quiet. I appreciated that it was low.
It was.
I didn't notice it the first watch.
I watched this with headphones on.
It
was not okay. She gets spooked by the shadows. And possibly the fact that Dear Ben is playing. And she burns a letter signed Love B.
Oh, no.
She's about to throw a toy motorbike in the fire, and just so we aren't confused about what she means, there's a voiceover about giving up on childhood fairy tales, like Aleda and Taru. Then a hummingbird taps at the window and Fluffy barks at it. I feel like they cut a song out.
Okay. This is where... I
feel like here something happened in between the squeaky floor group therapy ballad and the sitting in the dress that's wet for no good reason.
Right.
And I know they ran out of budget.
Yeah.
And I think there was a whole ass song before this one where she got wet in the rain.
Right.
in the pretty dress.
Yeah.
Or in a pool. Or
Well, they just
something.
forgot where they were. They filmed the final scene first and then assumed this happened next.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, no, shit. Oh, well.
Yeah. But it's... Or they went... Maybe they did film something and they went, oh, we can't have you in the rain twice.
Yeah.
Like, that's weird.
You can be wet.
You can just be wet.
Yeah.
It's weird that she's wet.
It is.
In a gown.
Yeah.
It's not okay. Anyway, the weather clears up and sun comes out real quick and there's a ding-dong at the door. Which is the only...
Ding Dong Drysdale.
Ding Dong Drysdale. Hey, Denise. Weirdly, the door is the only not see-through part of that entire house.
Yeah.
So we don't know who's there.
No.
Like, she could have seen him at any point. But she doesn't know he's there. It's the only non-see-through bit of her entire mansion. It's her judgy friend with no personality.
Yeah.
The British one. She's wearing a fabulous hat and a weird inside-out jacket thing, and her therapist has taken her back after dumping her in some scenes they edited
Yes,
shoot,
yes.
or think we didn't find as interesting. Again, something like there's a whole ass section.
I hadn't thought about it, but that
gone.
doesn't make sense.
Like, I'm like, when did he dump her?
Yeah.
Like, when...
I think I took it a little bit that when he was sending her to Love Addicts Anonymous,
That was like...
maybe it was him a kiss off. There maybe was one line that she said he dumped me. That might have been
in there.
But,
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like we're missing something.
I think so much was going on, it didn't bother me. Because I was so confused anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, they've cut something out that we didn't think we'd find as interesting as dancing vigorously to a ballad. She tells him there are no soulmates or signs, no happily ever after. He says, don't be so sure. And he hands her a thing. He's getting married.
So bad.
Jen is
marry me.
furious when she sees Fat Joe. Her friend, the cynic, apparently also called Mike, has invited her, but she's not going because she hates weddings.
That line reading was my favourite part of the entire thing.
Oh, yeah.
It was... The timing was great. I was like, yeah.
Yep.
A+ for that, Jen. Well done.
I hate weddings.
hate
And I'm
weddings.
just like, Jen, what?
I know. I loved it.
Like, is that supposed to be... I couldn't work out whether it was supposed to be a funny moment.
I think it is. I took it... You know how you had the alarm moment?
Yeah.
With Fat Joe before? This was my alarm moment where I was like,
Right.
oh, this is... She's being silly. Like, this is
Right.
fun.
Yeah, because it read hollow. It read like,
Okay.
I hate weddings. Like, I would have preferred... I hate weddings.
Okay.
Like, I would have
See,
preferred...
I heard it more as like, oh no, I hate weddings. Like, as we know that that's not true.
Yeah, we
She's
know
defensive
that's not
about it.
true.
But,
it
yeah.
just, yeah. Because so much in this has been so bad, my assumption is
Yeah.
this was also a terrible moment.
Sure.
It was too subtle. If it wasn't...
And I think that's what it was. I had just actually, funnily enough, watched Shotgun Wedding.
Oh,
And
yes.
because we were sort of at the point where we got through the albums. I hadn't watched any of the other big films that she'd done for a while because I couldn't deal. But that was like a sick day in bed. I was like, oh, that'll do. I'll pop that on. And I think a lot of people gave that movie a lot of crap. I thought it was really fun.
Well, it was, was it her first direct-to-streaming movie?
Maybe.
Yeah. And so people were kind of thinking, but it did really well on streaming.
Yes.
Like she's had 4 huge, direct-to-streaming movies.
Yeah.
So, she's found her niche.
Yes.
No one wants to leave the house to see her anymore.
No. But they will watch it at home.
They'll happily turn her on.
And I think my favourite part of the movie was I can't say it was understated.
Yes.
But the comedy was not in your face so much.
No,
It was more reaction or timing. And I like that.
And she's good at that stuff.
And that's
normally.
going from that to this, that's what I was seeing. I was
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, that was a sharper reaction than you'd expect.
Yeah.
And it's a little more subtle than you'd expect.
See, I read it as true. Like, I thought maybe she does hate other people's weddings.
Well, yeah, we find that out.
Because they're not hers.
Yeah. There's an element of that, sure.
Fat Joe doesn't even try to unpack this statement.
No.
He's the worst therapist
Yeah,
of
absolutely.
all time. Like, she got married 3 times before the last session. And this
true.
session, she says, I hate weddings. He's like, yeah, we'll just pretend you didn't say that.
I will say there is one worse therapist that I have come across recently on television. I'm rewatching the masterpiece that is Mistresses, starring Alyssa Milano.
Oh, right, yes.
And is it Eugene Kim, who was from Lost? I
Oh,
haven't
yeah.
heard her name out loud. But she plays a therapist who sleeps with her client and then her client's son.
Yeah, she's busy.
She's busy. And then she asks her fellow therapist, she's like, what would you do if someone, wanted to date you, but you don't want to date them? Like, what would you do? I'm like, that is something a therapist would learn on day one.
Yeah.
Like, you would know how to do that.
Yeah.
You are the worst therapist.
Yeah, she's had no
in the world.
She's an imposter.
Oh, yeah.
She's just got some business cards and that's it.
Absolutely.
No, like if you look for her qualifications on the wall, they are photoshopped.
Yeah. So,
are you sure she was a therapist and not a life coach?
She's a psychiatrist.
Oh, yeah, no, she's lying.
Yeah. Whoever was the psychiatrist, she's murdered them. Yeah, that's exactly where I was going.
She's murdered someone and taken their identity.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love this show now.
It's terribly camp.
Oh, it sounds amazing. So Fat Joe doesn't try to unpack the statement about hating weddings. Instead, he lets her rabbit on about some boring dream where she grew up and then she's at a train station on the 6th, probably.
Yes.
She's walking in the Bronx, talking to all her old friends, looking for orange drink. If you know,
I literally wrote, where is the orange drink if I know I know? I know it should be there and it's not. Where is it, Jen?
Her first crush is there. Then she gets haunted by wind-shaped people. Then she looks in the window of a shop and sees flowers like in the Heart Factory dream, and a spirit grabs her, and it's her when she's a little girl, but dirty and wounded, and says she didn't get enough love from grown-up Jen. Oh, it's a metaphor.
Yeah.
Jen doesn't love herself enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This whole thing, I said, the little girl moment has some elements thinking about being depth, and it's got some okay acting, but it feels so unearned. It came out of nowhere, and yet is also cliche.
Yeah.
And I said, which comes back to that being spoon-fed thing. Like, in some ways, we're not being spoon-fed, and we're allowed to go, oh, that's what this is, which is a good thing. But they've spoon-fed so many other things around it that it just feels like nothing.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. She cries.
What did I say? It's we're not being spoon fed. She just dumps the whole delivery truck on us all at once.
She does.
It's like, I'm not going to over-explain that bit so that I can really over-explain the later bit.
She cries a lot in therapy.
Yeah.
And in the spooky Bronx. Yeah. Then she sits in a windowsill with small Jen and auto-tunes away through This Is Me Now.
Yeah. Which, even in the movie, is the most jarring vocal
of
the whole thing.
Then she runs through the not spooky Bronx and stands on a ruined roof, and little Jen turns into rose petals and blows away in the wind.
Ah, bitch.
Fueling the Heart Factory. Factory Jen is singing This Is Me Now as well.
Yes.
The factory workers do their productivity dance. Yeah. They throw petals around. The muddy scientist gardeners all look so much better.
I definitely think the factory side of This Is Me Now was way better than the Bronx side of This Is Me Now.
So much better. They dance to the bit from Crimea River. The Heart Factory comes back online. Jen does her incompetent rap. Fuck, this is awful. It's weird. There's too much Foley on the dancing again. Yeah. Then the Heart Factory sends a beam to the Zodiac celebrities who have put mirrored glasses on. They're excited because she did it.
Yeah.
Neil deGrasse Tyson Taurus explains what love is with a weird PowerPoint that involves a sperm going into an egg.
Yes.
And I was not ready for that. And then Post Malone tells him to shush.
On in.
And he's offended. And I'm like, I want you to shush me, Post Malone, so bad. Yeah. Then there are wedding bells.
Oh, God. So, just before we get to the wedding bells, there's a moment in the factory. Maybe it does come later, but I think it's here, where she goes, stop. And it's just like, you know what we need? In this extended dance break. An extended dance break. And she just extends the song and dances to it some more. Because
I maybe gave up the will to live.
You might have. It just made me laugh so much because that's what this project is. Yeah. It's an extended music video where she's crammed a bunch of other stuff in and more dancing in this. But she's like, you know what it's missing? You know what my music videos normally have? A random part where I say stop and then we dance some more and then it comes back. I'm obsessed.
I didn't need that.
It never does. We never need it.
We never need it.
But I'm also like...
She's always good at being misjudged.
Yes, on brand with the... Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You know what people want? A tour. No. Misjudged that one too.
It was the equivalent of if on the J blog she'd had the announcement, but mid-announcement She had a dance break.
Yeah.
That's the level at which we're talking.
It's so weird.
So good. I love it. I would have been sad if it wasn't there.
They're ringing in some giant Wicker Man statue thing, the wedding bells, and Jen's flouncing about in a copper dress with a flower and singing Midnight Trip to Vegas, Sheesh. The song gets interrupted by the therapist bell going off. Which bells? There's bells everywhere. Fat Joe says, great session, and then asks about the wedding. And she says it was nice. Like, not as good as one of hers.
Nice.
Yeah. But nice. Oh, this Wicker Man, Lots of Bells wedding is her bitchy friend. Who, and this is a plot twist, after how arch and nasty he's been at all of her weddings, he's marrying a woman.
I know.
That was the biggest plot twist in the whole film.
Yeah. That's Hacks level.
I'm like, what? You're not?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
A woman
Yeah.
is putting up with that. Okay.
Yeah.
I did not see that coming. Jen went to the wedding on her own.
On her own.
Because she's finally had her inner child therapy during This Is Me Now. It was really brief inner child therapy. That goes for months, sometimes years.
Yeah.
But good on her for just, wafting off into a bunch of flowers.
Well, there wasn't a lot to go through. It was pretty shallow end of the pool anyway.
Well, yeah, and she ran away from home. She's 18.
It's like that's the deepest. Like, what's the worst thing that's ever happened? I did run away from home. Well, I just went to the shop, really.
Yeah.
I just went out with my friends for dinner.
Just went out with my friends for dinner. Got some orange drink, if you know.
But I was away from home for a minute. Yeah.
You know. So at the wedding on her own, she sees giant wicker hummingbirds. I don't know why. And a motorbike goes past behind her.
Yeah.
In case we missed the symbolism of the motorbike and her broken heart. She goes home from therapy in the rain where something magical might happen.
Yeah.
And a hummingbird comes and flaps at her. So she takes her umbrella down and chases after it. Then she dances alone in the rain to the song Hummingbird. It's a lot of crane shots, and it looks amazing. Yeah. Old Hollywoody.
Yeah.
Fat Joe finds her dancing in the rain. He should have had her committed at that point.
Not the character, but the actual person.
Yeah, both. He's not a good therapist.
He's really bad.
Then she's back in the Wicker Man Bell wedding and has a hummingbird tattooed on her neck. When did this happen? I don't understand.
Yeah, I think Ben got her one night.
Oh, maybe. And she sees Ben's chin and asks if you've heard the story of Aleda and Turo. And then they're back on the motorbike. Oh, that's the end. How is there another 10 minutes to go?
I know.
Written by Jennifer Lowe, but her screenwriting is somehow worse than her songwriting. The Greatest Love Story Never Told plays over the end credits, which are AI-painted renditions of the scenes from the movie.
Yeah.
Ben, the Sky News guy, comes back on to ask if astrology is real. Then Mad in Love plays over the rest of the credits. I think the credits is 10% of the running time of this
Absolutely.
thing. Then the credits go on so long, they also play Not.Going.Anywhere as well. There's some weird interlude with Ben saying, I love you. Gross. Then Jen starts singing This Time Around, but they've cut out the swears, even though Keke Palmer just dropped the F-bomb during the end credits. Oh dear, there's New South Wales government credits. Some of this was made in Australia. What were we thinking?
Yeah.
Then we go back to the wedding and Jen and Derek Huff rub cake into each other and there's more cake throwing.
Yeah.
And then it stops.
I did love that in Sofia Vergara's credit, she's like, this is the weirdest fucking thing I've ever been a part of.
I know. You're saying the inside part out loud.
Oh my God.
So that was This Is Me Now, the greatest love story, the never told, the movie, the now told. This is me, ... now, a love story, a movie, a musical, a drama, a comedy.
Sure. I thought it was, they had funny moments.
Yeah, there were some moments.
Some intentional, some not.
How did you feel?
I've written a lot.
This Is Me.
Are you ready?
Now. The movie.
So.
The musical. The drama.
The mug. Okay. So as I told you before we started recording, I watched it once because I was aware that it was bonkers.
Yeah,
so I was
going
like,
to
watch it and just try to take it in.
Yeah.
And then I'll make notes later and rewatch. So weirdly, The rewatch, not as jarring as you'd expect.
No, because you
know what you're
like,
going
I know
into.
this is stupid.
Insane.
And not okay. And I'll cope with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, like I said, there was some good moments. There's funny camp moments. I don't know if they're meant to be, but they were.
Yeah.
Great dancing moments.
Some spectacular dancing moments.
Pleased she mostly picked the better songs from the album.
She left all the other ones at the end credits.
Yeah.
Apart from This Is Me. No! We didn't get Dear Ben Part 2. That
We
didn't.
didn't.
Yeah,
which actually
that was the song that was cut out in the wet dress.
Maybe he wouldn't show up.
Yeah.
But for everything that was good, which there was lots of good stuff.
Yeah.
There was the jarring dialogue, too much emphasis on things that don't matter.
Yeah.
Like, that's odd. But I think the good stuff made the bad moments more glaring.
Yeah.
And I said, like, the things like the hummingbirds, the flowers, the signs, the bike, there was too many of those.
Yeah.
If it was just the hummingbird story and the flower petals, I could have been like, okay, it's just doing the thing.
Yeah.
Sure, that means something to her.
Yeah.
Cute.
Great.
But
But instead we had to pad it out with the entire pantheon of star signs.
Yes. It's like, or just that.
Yeah.
Also fine.
Just
but
that.
it was just like, ooh, okay.
Also just leaning, I think, he's such a Libra.
I know. I'm glad she left the Virgos alone. Because there's
She hates
a
them.
rumour that she hates us.
Yeah.
But
No,
I
that's
think
not a
Mark
rumour. That's
Anthony,
the truth.
yeah.
It was Heather Morris who said that she got
That's
banned
right,
from the
yes.
tour. From,
I said the movie does prove one thing, that if given the right material, she could act the shit out of a dramatic role.
Oh, yeah,
number
still.
one. And she could probably produce something spectacular if she doesn't write it.
Oh, man.
Because really...
Let her near the typewriter ever again.
There was really not one moment in this where I looked at it and said, oh, that looks shitty. I was like, literally everything looked
Well, I mean, she got
amazing.
a music video director who's directed one film to to indifference.
I said, it's probably the best produced and acted vanity project I've ever seen.
I know. But what did it cost her?
30 million? Oh, that might maybe
Is
not
that all?
much. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like when you hear that people say the $30 million mistake, you're like, oh, that's a lot of money. But then when you compare that to what movies actually cost
hundreds of millions.
and how good this looks, it's like, she's got a bargain.
Yeah.
And it's changed. She's probably got way more than that. So she's fine.
That's one bottle of Delula.
Yeah, exactly. I fear that the backlash and the perceived failure of the project, because as you said, I don't think this movie did badly.
No.
And when I looked at the reviews, it was mostly positive.
It's still 75% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I'm like, it's not bad. I said, I'm worried that could stop any growth that we've slowly been seeing.
Yeah. And
scare her back to the random occasional remixes on, guest spot.
Yeah.
And her romantic comedies that, are fun.
Yeah.
But I said, if she's smart and she really sees the forest for the trees, she could turn this into a moment of clarity where she goes, you know what? What I'm really good at is being a compelling actor and a really good dancer.
Well, I think given that she's doing Kiss of the Spider Woman next, and all of the dance and music scenes, I mean, there are some song scenes because the whole thing takes place in one prison cell.
Yeah.
And all of the big musical numbers are like this. They're all very surreal, very strange, because they're coming from a guy's imagining of what he thinks a movie he saw once was. It's
the Cell-like. It's similar to the Cell in terms of that thing which she can do.
Yeah. But, it will have singing, it will have dancing, know. It's a role for a dancer who can sing. Yeah. It's not a role for a singer who can dance.
And that's literally what I was thinking of going, I really hope that works. Yeah. Just to show that actually a lot of the production of this is also really great. Yeah. So she could have that second act in life where she's like, if I actually stop... She's proven that she can have a singing career. Yeah. She can put it to bed now.
She won't, though.
She won't. But if she was smart, she'd go, I'll put a pop dance hit out every couple of years. Yeah. But I'm going to focus on getting the right people.
Do you know what I reckon it is? I reckon it's because, she spends months making something like Atlas and then spends ages doing the publicity for it. Yeah. Whereas an album, she doesn't even go to the studio.
That's right, I have to go in there.
Is Ashanti busy? Yeah, get her to come in and sing my album for me.
And I will say, watching this, the Singing in the Rain part at the end, as well as the bits of Atlas, I was like, she gets down and dirty
Yeah.
when she needs to. I'm like, this isn't, I mean, she might be a princess off camera,
Yeah.
but she's doing the thing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, a lot of the roles she plays would not be easy. So I'm like, she's not afraid of hard work. If anything, she's probably the hardest working person in pop. But it's just that thing of she's just put her eggs in the wrong basket and she's spreading herself too thin.
Yeah.
And it's like, give her the right team.
Yeah.
And she could actually come out with something pretty fucking spectacular in a musical, like that old school Hollywood thing. Where they actually managed to capture a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So this done with a great scriptwriter.
Yeah.
And better songs.
Yeah.
And a better singer. And that's not that she did badly here.
No.
But for this kind of thing, you need a Barbra Streisand.
If they get someone in to sing her for her in Kiss of the Spider Woman, even better.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be unusual.
Look at Mariah in.
Turn Billy all the way up.
Yeah, I think if she focuses on those areas, she could come out with something really great and shut a lot of people up.
Yeah.
She just hasn't figured that out yet.
No.
I said, as much as we comment on the lack of depth and the missteps, I am pleased that she's gotten to a point in her career where it is her mistakes to make.
Yes.
It's her choices, even her voice. So even though we can sit here and say, maybe it shouldn't have been, at least we're able to say, hey, she took a big swing and actually did something in it. And I said, that's, it highlights her strength. This project highlights her strengths if you can look beyond the weaknesses, which are still very there, but to her credit, are not as weak as they used to be.
Yes. Although I am interested to see the making of, to see how much was her vision.
Yes.
And what's missing.
Yes. Yeah, that could be.
Nurse.
It could be.
Because
there's a nurse.
Remember there was the nurse, like she was like reading the script to Ben because she's a 25-year-old nurse and he's like, why are you playing younger in the autobiographical? She goes, no, it's a meta.
Yes. Okay, I'll keep an eye out. I said, overall, I just find it hard to know where to put it. It's not a musical or a movie. It's not an extended music video. It's all of those things and nothing.
Yeah, it's not a visual album.
No. I said, I do think it tells you more about who she is than the album did. Not so much from what she's saying, but what she's doing.
Yeah.
I said she's
hating weddings.
Yeah.
When they're other people's.
Her attention to detail is probably what makes her a good producer.
Yeah.
So, she has these transferable skills. She's just putting them in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
As I said, I hope she puts, my hope would be that she'd put the music to bed and focus on getting in with the best directors and writers. If she gets out of her own way, I think she could go from being inconsistently good to consistently great.
Yeah.
If she wants to.
Yeah, but I don't think she does.
We'll see.
I think she likes being her too much.
Maybe.
To actually do anything good.
Because, like I said, if she was smart, after all the backlash, if she came out of it and went, you know what, maybe it didn't land, but I'm really proud of what I did, and then shopped that around as like a show reel to someone really great and goes, you know what, I think I could have done better here. Can you help me?
Yeah. It's a $30 million show reel.
Yeah. But, if I didn't know all of the stuff and someone presented me with, I'd be like, you pulled this off?
Yeah.
That's amazing. So it's that thing of like, take away what we know.
Yeah.
And just go, you need this and you need that.
Yeah.
But fuck, it's pretty impressive. I'm just concerned that she's going to go, I got too close to the fire. I'm just going to stick to my waiting for tonight,
And it was so weird. Like when I posted that picture of her the other day, like people just, if you go to her Instagram, people just jump on it and just go at her. Someone even went like, oh God, why does she always just make such terrible things? Because it was the picture of her standing outside the big Netflix sign.
Oh yeah.
That says, don't mess with Jen. And they're like, she can be really good, but why doesn't she make an effort? And I'm like, yes, she does, but just not in things you want to watch.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, it's wild. It's the same as her singing. She'll sing really well on a song that doesn't need it.
Yeah. And then just phone it in on a song that you're like, this is a good song. Yeah. Why are you not there?
I know.
I mean, Christina Milian's doing a great job.
Yeah. And even that, like, I feel like a lot of backlash her on the things that need it, criticize her for the things that aren't good.
Yeah.
But a lot of
it constant need to show her stomach.
Yeah. A lot of people tout the untrue rumor, that Ashanti and Christina Milian sung all of her songs.
Yeah.
It's not true. We know it's not true. We joke about it because it's funny. But
they did sing some of the big
oh,
ones.
absolutely. But it's more that thing of like...
We've heard some very, very bad singing that we know absolutely was her.
And it's like, just go after, if you're going to go after someone, get it right.
Yeah.
Because there's heaps to farm.
Oh, there's heaps.
So, I really don't
We can
know.
go after her for P. Diddy.
Yeah. Well, we'll probably have to go after P. Diddy for P. Diddy, really.
Well, you have to go after P. Diddy. But, she could help.
Yeah.
I'm sure she saw some stuff.
Yeah. Watching the project, it was weird because I remember I was thinking about Glitter.
Yeah.
And how that's the camp classic.
Yes.
I feel like this is the one where you have to get absolutely off your fucking face on drugs.
Yeah, I don't even know. I think that would actually make it terrifying. I don't think that would help.
Maybe not.
No.
I don't know. There's a part of me that's like...
The thing I love about Glitter is that, it follows the formula of... Yeah. It is essentially... like one of those old 40s musicals.
Yes, yeah.
But just set in the 80s.
Yeah.
The weird psychic songwriting together.
Oh God.
It's just trying to be gritty where it doesn't need to be gritty.
Yeah. It got the so bad it's good camp.
Yeah.
Note.
It reached that point, but this just...
And maybe that's the issue. There's the so bad parts, but then there's genuinely decent parts.
Yeah.
And that makes you, I don't know where to put it.
Yeah. Also, it's so fractured. Like, it's so bitsy. It's like, why now is Post Malone in the sky?
Yeah. And like you said, the Foley, I think, was the most jarring part.
Yeah, it's so weird.
It's
like why? Because it's like, I get that if they were the sounds of the dancing in that scene, but we know they weren't.
Yeah.
We know they're added later.
Yeah.
Because they sound so over the top.
Yeah.
And it's... Yeah. Like, if they were doing a tap dance at some point, if there was a tap dance in the rain, I'd be like, yes, leave all that Foley in to lead up to this moment.
Sure.
Because there's a payoff. There's like, I know the squeaking chairs were annoying in the gym, but here we are tap dancing in the rain.
Sure.
And it's beautiful and it's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's, and again, when she was in the rain, I just wanted to watch Tom Holland with his umbrella again.
Oh, so good. Yeah. But yeah, that scene in particular, like you said, it was that old Hollywood thing, and they captured it. So it's like, why is it to this song? It was those things.
The hummingbird interlude.
Yeah, I was like, there's some nuggets of good stuff here.
Yeah,
I just don't understand. It's both more and less than the sum of its parts.
Yeah, I know.
It's
wildly problematic. I'm still not okay with the violent dancing.
Yeah, which again could have been beautiful.
Yeah,
and there were moments that showed
if it was
that it could
just
have been
dance.
Exactly.
But instead of trying to incorporate,
we're slapping as well. Yeah, exactly. It maybe bit off more than it could chew in certain spots, and then forgot to even bake the goods.
Yeah.
In other spots.
Also, what is her obsession with violent men? That's a thing in her work a lot.
Yeah.
So it's obviously something she is
trying to work through.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I did have this theory when I watched Shotgun Wedding, because like I said, like her timing was really funny in it. She was in a movie with some really good actors.
Yeah.
But Lenny Kravitz was there by surprise. Yeah. Jennifer Coolidge, another of the Jens. Dumal kept up. It was all fun. And Darcy Carden.
I love Darcy Carden. Oh
so it was a really good cast. So and she still was the most compelling person to watch. And it made me think about the fact that, we've talked about the depth off screen. It's like, is it just that her gift is to shine on screen and play characters, but she's just never developed who she is outside of that. Yeah. And
that's why the inner child bit rang really hollow. I don't think you've dealt with this.
No.
I think you're paying lip service to this theory of healing, but I don't think you've done any inner child work at all.
Yeah. And so
someone's told you about it.
Yeah. And she portrays it well, but it's not paying anything off. So you're like, I believe her, but I don't know what about.
Yeah, because it was like the inner child is kind of gone like, you never loved me. And she's like, oh, I do love you. And it's like, no, I don't believe you. Like, I did not, and she's such a convincing actor, but I did not believe her in that moment of hugging the child going, no, I do love you.
Yeah.
and then singing that awful song that we can't stand.
Yeah.
Which made it even worse.
But I think it's because there's not one moment that it is mentioned that she treats herself badly.
No.
And, like, obviously you could really stretch and go, well, she's dating all these terrible men. Okay.
Yeah, she went out with the abusive guy. She got into 3 marriages with people who feel like they're treated like an object. And she says, you treat me like shit. And I know we made a joke about that, but like obviously she believes on some level she's treated like shit by these people.
Yeah.
So she's obviously still going out with lots of people. People in the sky kept saying, why all the bad boys?
Yeah.
Old mate's got a fucking gun in his pants.
Yeah.
The teenager she brings back to the house.
Yes.
When she runs away from home.
Teen Biddy.
Like, they're all bad people bringing bad things. You know, the gun is quite a symbol of violence.
Yeah.
They're
and
into her
quite
life.
a symbol in her...
Yeah.
You know, in the canon of her life.
Yeah.
So that was not accidental.
No. So...
And she's never really talked about it.
No, she still hasn't talked about it.
No, and it makes me go, now with what we know, it makes you go, was that worse than we thought it was for her personally?
Yeah.
Because she kind of has laughed it off. She was interviewed at some point before she got back with Ben.
Yeah.
And it was like, who would you save? You know, you've got a boat, you can only lift one in, Ben Affleck or Diddy. And she goes, you can let both those motherfuckers drown.
Yeah.
She laughed, but there was a part that's like, I wonder. It's hard to know because there's the parts of you that just get turned off by her.
Yeah.
You know, and you go, oh, maybe you don't have that depth and maybe you're that nasty bitch that everyone says you are.
Yeah.
But then there's other parts going, I don't think you can be this good an actor if you don't have...
don't have something
to draw from.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. I think it's that she's unable to open a door somewhere.
Yeah.
And really deal with whatever it is. It may have nothing to do with how she's treated herself. It may be something completely different.
Yeah.
But she's channeling it as if, oh, that sounds relatable, so I'll say that.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it's a nice idea, poorly executed. Even though it's beautifully executed visually.
Yeah.
It's quite the trifle of things.
Yeah.
But it's Jennifer Aniston's trifling Friends that has the meat and potatoes in the middle of it.
Like, it is literally a trifle. Like, it is like layer upon layer upon layer of very sweet, sickly things that are not good for you.
And the moments that worked were the scenes without anything, like the intervention.
Yeah.
Like,
so fun.
She delivered that so well.
Yeah.
I was like, I would watch 2 hours of this.
Yes.
Like, this movie, great.
Yes.
And it makes me think of things like Enough or those other more gritty movies that were still kind of daytime level scripts.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I wish someone would actually, and like you said, it could be because of the Spider-Woman.
Yeah.
I wish someone would actually recognize her talent, that she trusted enough to let them call the shots so they can say, none of that.
I haven't seen Mother, but I really like Misha Green as a writer.
No, it was fun.
Yeah.
Hustlers is probably the thing she was the most...
compelling.
She's always compelling.
Yeah.
But the thing that everyone else was, it was all working.
Yeah.
And you believe that she would play that kind of role.
Yeah.
And she still commanded the stage, so to speak. And I just think she needs a bit of reining in.
Yeah.
You know, I know she
gets... Because, I mean, she's like, J-Lo, as if you tell her anything.
I know, she gets excited by I think that's what it is. She gets so excited and then it's like, I'm going to do all this and this and this and this. And it's like, girl... rein it in.
Yeah.
Concentrate
on one thing.
And the sad part is she's actually really good at several things.
Yeah.
But it gets missed.
Yeah.
Because she's not trusting that.
Yeah.
And again, her perception of what people are saying about her is actually not the reality.
Yeah.
Like, she probably needs to stop checking Instagram comments.
Oh my God. Because she can't be looking at that. I wouldn't leave the house.
No.
Like, I lost a Patreon subscriber last week and it devastated
me. Oh no!
I got a new one the next day. Like, it's like it's balanced itself out financially, but just the emotional hit.
Yeah, why?
And also I'm like, oh, we are in a really bad time for spending money at the moment. Like, no one has any money.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if everyone left at the end of the week. Like,
don't give them ideas.
No, but it's just that thing of like, it's expensive. It's an expense. Yeah. Like, when you're cutting back on things that you're spending monty on, it's like, let's cut back on all of these things.
The $10 here, the $20 there.
Yeah, like, I get it, but then emotionally, I feel it, and like, she would be on that on a gigantic scale.
Yeah.
She's got whole stadiums worth of that emotion.
Literally. And you know, that having to cancel that tour would be incredibly difficult. Yeah. Like, just personally, you'd be like, fuck.
Yeah.
What have I done? Like...
A, you've spent all this money on deposits and everything. B,
you're letting a whole lot of
there's
people
a
down.
whole lot of people who you were guaranteeing work for the next 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
And now you're like, there's actually no job now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it seems she was trying to keep it together.
Oh, yeah.
But because we don't
rehearsing,
know...
like it was happening. Like it was meant to start in like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because we don't really know her, pardon the pun,
Yeah.
we don't know whether this is all happening and she quote unquote deserves it, or if it's like just she's got so many walls up that when don't know whether to feel bad for her or not.
Well, like I brought her up during a discussion in my class. So everyone there is like 23 at the oldest. I think there's one 30-year-old.
So she's dating the 23-year-old.
Yeah, she is. And yeah, when her name came up, it was just like, ugh. Like there was just some like, oh, she's so fake. She's so like, and I was just like, oh my God, you don't know how you're playing with younger people. It is not.
Yes. Yeah.
And they're the ones that go to concerts.
Yeah.
Like people our age.
We can afford it.
Well,
they can afford it. No one can afford it, but yeah.
People our age, especially, you know, the heterosexuals, they go to 2 things a year at the most because they've got to get babysitters or they've got to organise.
And they've already gone to Taylor Swift and someone else.
Yeah, they've got to drive in from miles away and, you know, stay overnight somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I saw all those middle-aged women on the tram going to Pink. Like, they've been to their thing this year.
Yeah.
Then,
and it does make you look at, you know, like you said, Mariah's doing Vegas.
Yeah.
But it's not a full tour. You know, she's doing bits and pieces because she's like the Lamb will show up. Yeah. And that works when you don't have a new album or something like that. And then, you know, you've got Kylie doing her...
But Mariah still does her Christmas tour and it goes hugely.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But that's a clever thing because everyone loves Christmas.
Everyone loves Christmas.
But then you've got Kylie who's going and doing the small residency. Yeah. And I mean, America's like her 6th biggest market. It's not even number 5. And it's worked because she didn't overestimate herself, her and where she is.
Yeah.
If Jen had come in and done a 5,000-seater thing in Vegas, I'm sure it would have sold.
Oh, it would have been huge.
Yeah, because she's done it before.
Yeah.
And it worked. And maybe that's what she should have done here.
Yeah, and also because
funnel it into something else.
Yeah, because she's such a dancer, and you know that, as we've seen, is a really great part of the show. Like it's a really big, energetic, fun experience, and that's kind of one of the things people go to Vegas for.
For sure,
are the showgirls.
And she does that exact thing, and she does it well.
Yeah. But trying to do a big stadium tour was probably a big ask.
Yeah, and I respect wanting to see it through. You know, to go, I've really taken a big swing. Let's see if we can salvage this.
Yeah.
Again, Kylie did it with the Kiss Me Once record where she'd left her management and she'd gone somewhere else and it did okay, but it didn't really hit.
But also, like, music, you know, is like people like Kylie and Madonna, I feel like they've been around forever.
Yeah.
But realistically, their window was very small.
Yeah.
Like, it just felt like a long time because we were young. And everything feels like it goes forever. But, yeah, like Taylor Swift is, you know, all of a sudden on the nose after this massive tour.
Yes,
and this latest album is like, oh no, she's done. She's cooked.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that was a quick turnaround.
It's just sort of getting quicker and more extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the Spice Girls were together for 18 months.
Yeah, I know.
Like, it's without, you know, in that, from Wannabe to Jerry leaving was about 18 months.
Yeah.
And it's like they took over the world.
Yeah.
And the impact is still here. They're still all of them are still very famous.
Yeah.
And that's not often the case.
No.
But
there's 3 Take That's.
Exactly.
They're still touring and apparently
there's 2 5s. That's quite shocking.
Oh, 5 Ive. They're just Ive now.
Yeah. But at this point, obviously we've got the documentary and I'm curious to see if she undoes any of the goodwill. But it does make you go, you know, where we are, having gone through everything, it does make me go, oh, this was life, like the whole thing was sort of lifeless in ways I didn't expect.
Yeah.
But I'm impressed in ways I didn't expect.
Yeah.
And now I'm just curious what the hell's going to happen next.
I don't know.
Because where we are in our little Regularverse journey and where the world is with her is very interesting.
We've caught up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm curious.
Well, that's our next trip to the Regularverse.
Yes.
Well, we should get out of here then.
Okay,
Get the fuck out of our podcast.
Get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out of our podcast.
Get the fuck out.
Just walk away.
Walk away.
You tacky fuck right out of my face.
Regular bitch.
Oh, we're almost home. Thank you for this journey to the Regularverse. The Jenny, the Jenny journey. Where are we going next week? I gather back to Stella's world.
So sad.
Like, why do we keep doing this to ourselves?
I know. And it's particularly sad when it's like the hourglass has turned. And I mean, the last couple of weeks was quite hectic.
Yeah.
But there was lots going on.
There was stuff happening.
And now we're about to watch something where probably nothing will happen.
Well, Molly's gone. Like, there's half the show's finished.
We don't know. But I don't want to...
Maybe she's doing another character. If there's another character who's blurred out and doesn't speak, maybe that's Molly. Molly is in the trailer Ren suit.
Yes. Yeah. But you know what? I don't want to tune in to find out.
No, I don't care.
That's the problem.
But we're going to have to.
We've
We've got
committed
4 weeks
to
to
it.
go. Yeah.
And, you know, we are carefully plotting what will be coming after.
I mean, we've got more trips to the Regularverse.
There's a couple more trips to the Regularverse. There's the words and songs, or whatever. Adobe words and stuff.
Yeah, but we've got some extra exciting Mariah business to come.
Yes.
A new music-y bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that gives us things to be hopeful for on the other side of Mariah's world.
Yeah. If only we could get through it quicker.
I know.
All right. Well, we'll see you next Mariah Monday for part 5 of Not Molly's World anymore.
Yeah.
Bye, Emily!
Bye!